polyrhythm. It's a concept I want to think with you this evening. We ask today to hear beyond the staves. It means to keep moving beyond. Beyond what? There can be different transition movements here, beyond writing, beyond the graphic, beyond the musical notes, beyond frequencies, outside the music hall toward life, between the senses and beyond them. What is the hearing we are striving for? I am calling it polyrhythmic hearing. Technically, our conference today not only brings auditory perspectives, but itself is constructed in a polyrhythmic way, between the synchronous and the asynchronous, between the synchronous and the diachronic. Being involved in the knowledge and creative gardens of School of Life, I want to take briefly and talk about the hearing we seek to promote in those garden spaces. The platform that will be used today for the auditory thoughts, we seek to resonate in the garden platform, the jazz garden and the School of Life garden, learning and creative and knowledge gardens, in which we seek to generate such hearing and other movement. So what do we have here today? First, 18 live and recorded lectures. They are all stretched on the same thread of time and blur the different spaces of time and place of the speakers who are located all over the world, sometime with a large time zone gap. After the conference, the live speakers will also be assimilated into the garden system, and direct access will be allowed to each speaker in order to produce a continuous dialogue. This is the main goal of our gardens. We have the speaker's corner and the greenhouses where lecture and research activities accumulate, and we have the space of the rhizome, where we will seek to continue to hear each and every one of the lectures today. We seek to continue to hear beyond the staves in the virtual gardens and in the physical gardens as well. The rhizome is a space where thoughts and ideas crystallize into actions. These can be creative, artistic, or educational, and therefore we are interested in continuing to hear everyone in their creative and learning spaces. So to continue the journey with each participant towards a workshop, experience in physical space, communal learning, etc. Polyrhythmic listening is a form of listening in an intermediate space. It is the listening of a montage in which tension is created between the elements and the rhythmic forms that are like shoving and pushing each other. But it is precisely on this wave of tension that we seek to surf and hear the dialogical frequency. This is an elusive line, very easy to deviate from, and requires inner alertness and significant training to experience it continuously. The different meters tell a homogeneous and independent story each, but when they come in contact with each other and placed on top of each other, we ask that they not fall apart, collapse, or melt, but continue to maintain their own identity. That will not dissolve rhythmically, but will contribute to the design of new audio landscapes. This is creative hearing. Surfing on the polymetric frequency allows for additional connections. There is an opening for an area of dialogue from which one can hear an additional rhythm that becomes part of the same frequency, but also retains its identity. And there is an opening to hear everything, every natural, synthesized, contemporary, or historical voice that we choose to listen to. Ideas can also be connected in a polyrhythmic way, and maybe that's how we would like to hear and learn. Continue to hear to hear ourselves within past voices, within concepts and the sea of knowledge, swim in sea of audio. Interpersonal communication also needs its polyrhythmic channel. Each of us has his own rhythms and metrum, and these are supposed to keep beating even when they come in contact with a human wall sometimes that needs to expose itself and form a living acoustic texture. On the one hand, that resonates the rhythmic signal while transmitting its live signals at the same time. Is it possible to think of the same polyrhythmic channel as an open pipe or tube or vessel? What is this pipe? Is it possible that by exposing this polyrhythmic channel, we also allow an additional remembering and perpetuating quality to enter and affect the audio process? So then we have a sonorous texture that seeks and allows us to weave an additional thread of audio. First, these are the rhythms that merge in the contrapunct of reality of our lives. And one voice that accompanies may it be a voice that remembers, a voice that commemorates, or the voice of nature. For although polyrhythms have reached the musical staves in the axis of the development of Western music and in its encounters with tribal music, the real abode of polyrhythm is nature. There, the duple and triple, natural and odd meter rhythms merge. It seems that at the moment of the fusion of sounds, the channel opens, the audio space itself is exposed. Sound and silence merge, and polyrhythmic rise to another level, this time between sound and silence. When the threads of sound and silence are woven, we hear higher elevated polyrhythm. Yes, this special gathering and future ones we plan strive to promote a polyrhythmic audio array of creative learning and research that will resonate in the gardens between the virtual and the real, and the group, the wonderful group gathered today to speak and listen generates it.